Good morning. I'm in the clearing at the end of our KOW track before it starts to go down to the river. Today I'm going to walk along the river from the bottom here, and I'm going to come back out at Razorback track, back to Lowe's Lane, see if I can find some evidence of mining up along the river. I know there's some down the bottom of this, although I haven't been down the bottom of this track. There's mining works on the other side. You know, very intense mining works. A couple of adits, I think maybe 3 or 4, and I think there is an old hut site at the top of the hill before you walk down. I'll have to have a look at the video I did on that one just to confirm it. This was the first ever track I walked where I filmed, where I documented it, but I didn't go all the way down because at the time I wasn't confident enough to do it. But it was actually my second hike out here. Now I think I've done, I don't know, 2,500 Ks, or at least 2,000, and the other 500 around the area in this place. So, you know, I've been down worse and I've been up worse, so at this stage it's kind of no big deal, and a lot of people use this track, but I don't think anyone has actually looked for stuff. Plenty of videos of people walking up and down the river from here with nice music and that, but no actual exploring and trying to document what was here 150 odd years ago. That's what I'm going to try to do today. Hopefully it paints more of a picture of what was going on. Now, the first time I was here I made it to this tree, and there were a heap of goats around at the time. I didn't go anywhere past this because, as I said, I wasn't confident enough to go down these steep tracks like I kind of am now. I'm almost at the bottom of our KOW. You can see the river down there, nothing's flowing, which I'm kind of happy about because it makes it easier to go up the middle. But that's what we got up there, and at the moment, well, I haven't been down enough, it's had a heavy rain, but I reckon it needs a really heavy rain to wash all the crap off of the track, because yeah, it's very slippery at the moment. Unless you got good shoes, you're going to struggle. Even with good shoes, I was struggling a bit at a couple of spots. It's yeah, it's one of the steeper ones in the park. Yeah, from here I can already see some stack wall down there. So I'll get down, I'll go over and have a look. The cockies aren't real happy I'm here, but you know, they're never happy. Oh well, here's a track marker for the bottom of our KOW. Yeah, it needs a good rain to clean all that off. It's crap everywhere. And straight away at the bottom here we're into some mining. Have a bit of a look around. I thought I saw something further up this creek here. It was too steep. It was like an adit had been punched into the side of the hill. Not too sure whether it was or not because I couldn't get a proper look. And across the way you can see the perfect where the wall is and where they really did dig out for the flume to go through. So I'll make my way over there and have a bit more of a look. I'm in the middle of a dry riverbed. It'll make walking up here a little bit easier. I'll just wander over and have a look. There's a track marker going up. I can't remember the name of it. And here's some rock wall. You can see the rock wall there, and then the flat area across the top. Probably people, well, I think I've walked across it before, but yeah, people have been walking across it. And around the corner, I think, is the main mining area. Which I'll have a quick look. Yeah, I'll see if I can find reference to that in one of my other videos, because I haven't walked that track before. Oh, we're not going to go down that way, because I'm going to do that another day. From here to, I think it's Bear's Head, I think it's 5.5 kilometres down the river. But I'm thinking that that's going to have to be that might have to wait, because I think we're getting some rain over the next couple of weeks. It's the end of summer now. I think it's going to fill up. I'm going to make it pretty hard to get down there. So, and 5k's along the riverbed's a fair bit. I'll just pick me time, I think. And probably the reason that that's still in pretty good nick, because it's on the inside of a bend. So this would be the slowest part of the river when it comes into flood. Over on that side you can see the logs where there's a bit of a log jam. The water hammers down into that corner and goes around and cuts out the other bank and kind of leaves this one alone. So that's why if they're on an inside bend, on the back of an inside bend, they're all pretty much intact, like this one is. No more evidence of flumes coming through. I might just wander up into there and have a look. Oh yeah, there's something there. It looks like a bit of an adit here that went down underneath, I think. Yeah, there's a bit of a dark space there where they went under. So they dug in there, and I reckon they came around here with a flume, I'd say, which is typically what they do. Or what they did anyway. There's a bit of stacked rock there. Possibly another adit going in that way. and one around the corner. But I'm not going to go in there, it's a bit thick. Yeah, over there, another flat area that I reckon at some stage was like a bit of a beach, and they've, I'd say, run the flume across the top of that, because this side's a cliff, so they would have just crisscrossed the river where they needed to. Well, I found hardly anything so far. Probably about almost a K up from KOW. The only thing I have found is there's a small stacked rock wall there, which is a bit rough to get up to, so I'm not going to give it a go, but there might be something else a little bit along here. But so far it's been pretty bare. Looks like there might be workings up there. I'm gonna landmark this on the map, just so that I can show you roughly where it is. And this is where we are. We're just in the curve of a river on the bend. This is the inside bend. Yeah, and that is stacked rock up there. So that was mining as well in here. You can see it better from this angle. A little bit more in the same area. This is on the middle of the bend. Nice cliffs over there. Yeah, it's an amazing place. I'm pretty spoilt being able to walk up the middle of here without any water. Usually it's a bit of a struggle. Not this time. Yeah, nothing over there, that's cliff. I'll go through here and see if I can get through this part. Oh, God, grief. So I've come out into this clear and around one of the bends. I think I'm about a K up the river now. I've only got 2.5, so it's not that far. There's a little bit of a stacked rock, and then a channel goes through there. So it looks like they were working this area. This is only, I reckon, 500 metres from Mackenzie, I think. There's a big mined area down at the bottom of Mackenzie track where they had huts, and there's a couple of old fireplaces and a couple of shafts and probably drop toilets. I wouldn't be surprised if one of them were. There's an adit. I think there's an old adit. It's filled in now, but that's an old adit there. And Possibly here's where their water come up through, maybe, or it was just where they pulled the rock out and threw it down in a pile over there. But they built proper walls, and this is obviously, this mound here obviously isn't natural, because they built this up out of the waste they took out of the hill there. Ooh. So that's another good one. I was starting to think I wouldn't find anything, but in the usual suspects of the part of the river, which is usually the back of an outside bend, at the start and along to the back, as what'll happen is you'll get the big rocks falling. Or if the gold's coming down the river, you get the big rocks falling at the front of the bend where the water slows straight away, and that's where the big gold will fall. And then as it goes along, the rocks get smaller and smaller, as does the gold, until it eventually runs out. So that's how it sort of drops out of the river. But it's obvious that they were digging in the side here, and I'd say there was an entrance there as well. You can see there was a adit just there, I think it is, yep. And all of this rock here has come out of that. All this waste rock along here was pulled out of that, plus the other two adits on the other side. So we're digging for gold in there, then sluicing it out down into the river. So that's a nice find. As I say, Mackenzie's is just up the road here, up the river. I think we've got a little bit more as well. And look, I know people have walked through this before, so it's not like it's an untracked expedition, but I don't think anyone's documented where the mines are. So yeah, it's definitely a cut through. There's a stack, there's some stacked rock there. And all of this stuff has been dug out and piled up. Oh, it doesn't look like there was an adit. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't, but I can't see anything. They definitely stacked this up in here. I was kind of thinking that that bit of those rocks there were stacked, but I don't think so. And this bit here, without a doubt there is. Might even be Mackenzie's, the start of Mackenzie's, I'm not sure. I'm getting close. Oh. Yeah, there's an adit up there. So this was a big mined flat area down here. But check this bugger out. Goes back there. Not going in, but yeah, you can see the river rock above. They were digging underneath it to get to the gold. And this would have been obviously walkable, so it caved in a hell of a lot. How far above the river are we? Maybe 10 metres, and you've got all the river rock sitting up here, even way up there. So at one stage the river ran that high and then cut its way down, and that's what they're after. What's under that? And that's probably the biggest adit I've seen in here, without a doubt. This is a little worked area. You can see the bank's been cut away. Not much to show for it now though. And this is the start of, I think it might be Chadwick actually, down here. You're going to be going back on the track that leads to at some stage, but I'm pretty sure that you can see that big tree there. I'm pretty sure there's a little campsite just up in here, and you can see the marker. Well, we'll have a look at that. That's a huge mining site. Oh yeah. I got probably a K now until I get to Razorback, and it's just a map which I haven't walked actually. There's a fun fact. Oh geez, that's a track that I haven't walked down. Where's this marker that I saw? Over there. Yeah, last time I was here, the river was running good-o. Good-o. There it is. Oh, get there. There's the old fireplace, which I've had a little snack at before and had a stop. What do we got here? What's it say? Mackenzie and Lower Chadwick. Lower Chadwick track up that way. Note, walking up or downstream is for experienced and prepared walkers only. There you go. Whew. They're right about that, that's for sure. Now this has been pretty easy. A walk in the park, pretty much. I think the hardest bit's going to be, I might dry my t-shirt off when I get back to the car somehow. I've been here when the river's been hammering along. It's interesting to see what's under here when it's not doing anything. I've often wondered what's over the other side. Now I know. Oh, there's a little bit of water running. At the mouth of a little feeder creek that comes into the river. That might be interesting to wander up one day. Have a look on the map where that goes, but the Mackenzie's Chadwick area is just over there. So I thought I'd come up and have a bit of a look. Check out that old girl. Probably 150. I reckon that's the biggest gum I've seen around here still standing. Usually they're gone. by that size, and it's an absolute ripper. Look at that. Amazing. Yeah, well, I walked up in there. I couldn't find any diggings. If there was stuff there, which I reckon there was, because it's an area that you would have them. Been long ripped apart by the floods coming through here. Oh, that's soggy. So, and it's full of bracken, so it's really hard to find anything. But you can see there, that mound there has been built up from rock. I'm going to go back up because that looks promising. Oh, where can I get up here? Yeah, see, all this has been stacked. All this has been stacked here. Let's see what I've got up here. Yeah, there's a flat walkway or a... Whew. Yeah, all this has been mined. Come in behind here as well. Yep. Ooh. Look out. Oh, another beautiful feather, look at that. A gift, that's what I think they are. So yeah, all this was mined. There must be a couple of shafts here or an adit somewhere, because there's an awful lot of pile around, or rock piles where they've dumped all the rubbish out of. Oh, well, almost to the... This could have been a shack, I don't know. It's pretty, or a storage or something, but it's a bit too organised. Oh, it doesn't look organised, but you can see where it had a side over there, turn around to a back. Obviously the trees have buggered it up. Then it went across that way, come down here and across. So I don't know, possibly a little hut. There's one of their walkways, another pile of rocks there. Not sure going up that's gonna solve anything, but what's around the other side? Yeah, that's not much. If I walked a straight line up this bloody river, I'd be done by now. I zigzag all over the place to see if I can find things. A lot of flat spots like that. I doubt very much if they just became dead flat on their own. Maybe they did. No, they worked it. There's a wall there. There's some stack. See if I can get through to it without prickling myself. Yeah, they were in here. Yep. Yeah, they worked this area in through here. I reckon they might have dug that pool out, because that bedrock there going straight across is almost like a giant riffle in a sluice, but it's natural on the river, so they may well have utilised that and dug out underneath it and dug all of this out. I don't think I'll be getting over this somehow. No, I'll have to go around. So I was up on that rock ledge before, crossed over this side, and obviously there's a little campsite that people have made up. I reckon originally it was part of a mine site and people have just put some camps. We've got this little gully and there's a stacked rock wall, very, very similar to what there is left at the East Walk further up. So whenever you're on the East Walk, you're actually walking on an old flume foundation. And then I walked along it. I'm thinking, why is it going uphill? Because, you know, water doesn't go uphill. And I saw some stacked rock up here. So I couldn't get up the other way, it's a bit too steep. So I have to try this way. I'm only one turn away from Razorback, so that was an adit in there. Look at that. Look at that. And that was an adit up in there, I reckon. And it all went down along the wall into that little flat area. And that's where they sluiced everything. Whew. That's a good one. I'm happy with that find. And what do we got here? And there's another adit. Right there, and it's right above where people sit and have a little break when they're walking up the river. And there's the wall. Still goes along here. There's a little fireplace that people have. They obviously sit and have a chill. Big tree up there though, I wouldn't be sitting under it for too long, wouldn't be camping under it, that's for sure. There's more of the... Oh, okay, what have we got here? They either cut either side of this or they filled it back in and there was an adit in there. Because they didn't go over this for water. Maybe they use this because there's rocks on each side of it. Maybe they use this to, let me think, they sluiced the rock up the top, brought the water in by a water wheel, dropped it down, sluiced it, and it went back into the river here, or back into their flume that they had. So they kind of recycled it maybe. Yeah, this is it's been put there. Yeah, maybe this come back down onto the flume and the flume went that way. And that other rock wall, the other rock wall up there was possibly the water coming from the other mine. They were maybe sluicing it straight out the front of the adits. Geez, it'd be good to have some written documentation of how they were doing it. It's all flat there. That was made by persons unknown for sure. Whew. Rugged part of the river, that's for sure. Coming down here, I have to have a look at some maps and see which area they come down from. I just got one corner to go. No, I haven't. There it is there. There's Razorback right there. They might have come down from one of them. So there you go, nearly finished. All I've got to do is get up Razorback and I'm trotting back to the car. Just a saunter. A little bit there, not there were spots that I knew of and there were some that surprised me, but don't know, maybe that little ruin was a hut of sorts. So if you lasted this long, thanks for coming along on another Lerderderg exploration with me. Now I'll have to figure out what my next move is, because as I said earlier on, the next move is 5.5 k's from KOW down to Bears Head. That'll be a summer no river, no water type thing, so it might have to wait for a while. But anyway, I'm up on Lower Chadwick. It flattens out when it just gets up, just up onto that spur there. There's a few little mining prospects through here, not much though. There's a couple of little trenches over the other side there, just over there. There's a little digging just in the middle there. Yeah, they've had a bit of a go here too. Quite possibly there's a little gully there. Quite possibly they went down that, because it's pretty flat through here. It's pretty interesting, to be honest, how flat it is. Look, I'm going back up the hill here, but it's not anything that's berserk. There is a flat area. There is a flat area over there, just as you get to the top of the hill. They could have had a little camp there for a while and just poked around here. There's a little bit of quartz over there as well. It's interesting, there's stuff everywhere. Anyway, heading up Lower Chadwick. I'll see you later. Hooroo.